that is done. And I need to pin one of my tweets, which is, where is it? Here. Oh, that's not what I wanted it to do. And I'm gonna pin another one of y'all's tweets. This National Peach Day one's good. Okay, and with all that done, I think we're ready to get started. How are you guys doing? We've got Proof of Peach here, which I believe is the co-creator, co-founder. Is there any title that I'm leaving out there for you, Peach?
I'm just the CEO and co-founder of Proof of Peach. Yeah.
Nice. And then we've got Ape Brooker here. And Ape, you are the marketing lead for Proof of Peach, correct?
That is correct.
Fantastic. Well, it's very nice to meet you. I have been super excited to do this AMA with you guys as someone coming from the adult industry, because typically a lot of the porn projects you see on the blockchain are operating based off of hype. They're owned by non-industry people, and they're really not interested in serving the adult community or the content creators at all. And this is not that type of project at all. So yeah, this is really great. I'm glad you guys joined me today. So I began coming back in 2010, and I'm still in the business. I'm semi-retired, thanks to crypto. I did video work, I did some dom work, and sold panties, like everything that you can do online in the adult industry from home. Basically, I've done. And really, the adult industry is why I got into crypto, because back in 2018, I was beta testing for SpankChain, their cam site, which was their focus at the time. They're still around. They're still a payment processor for the adult industry. But yeah, they're the ones that like got me into DeFi, that taught me how to set up a MetaMask wallet, that taught me how to use Radar Relay to swap my Spank token for wrapped ether. And if anyone's not familiar with that, that was like a wallet to wallet DEX back in the day. So yeah, I have the adult industry to thank for being in crypto. Actually, so SpankChain was, like, if I'm not mistaken, they were one of the earliest liquidity providers for Uniswap. And I was the reason that I got the Uniswap airdrop, and I didn't even know about that shit until early 2021. So I had like this big fat bag of Uniswap to sell so I could start degening into shit. So really, like, when I say thank you to the adult industry, it's like, thank you for allowing me to survive since 2010. Thank you for getting me into crypto. So it's like, it's full circle. Here I am doing this AMA with you guys. So it's a pleasure, really. I'm really excited about this. So before we get into it, this AMA is made possible by Cat's Crypto Peepshow VIP Room Experience, which was just launched on August 11th. This is the private area of my Discord where we put community and values first. I'm not getting naked in there yet, but who knows what the future will hold. Anyone who auditions and is accepted for VIP by September 8th receives a 14-day free trial and the OG VIP Peep Roll, which you will have forever, even if you cancel and come back later. This gives you special perks and benefits for everything that the Peep Show comes out with in the future, be it NFTs, tokens, etc. You can find a link to the audition pinned up inside of this space and anywhere on my Twitter. And we also have Peep Show Welfare coming up this week, where we're going to be giving one person per month a free month membership plus $25 in crypto to do whatever they like with it. So without any further ado, let's get to the main event, which is Proof of Peach. So, Peach, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background in the adult industry, because you share a bit of the same history as myself. I would love to hear more about that.
Yeah, so way back in 2013, actually I was at 2012. Yeah, somewhere around there. I was 18. I was freshly 18 and I started doing cam girling. Um and from there I became a stripper and along this journey, I learned a lot of like the hardship, I guess, of like being a sex worker. I learned a lot of the joy, and a lot of the like experience was really positive and gave me a lot of confidence. And I would honestly say fundamentally built my ability to be who I am today. But I also learned a lot of like the restrictions and the issues. I had like a fan purchase a night from me on like Skype away from the webcam modeling site, and he paid me via PayPal, and he did this for like 3 nights in a row. And then he charged back on the last night, and I lost all of my money. I just had a lot of like learning experiences that I think a lot of sex workers kind of go through, whether that's through like payment processors issues or like, the website not taking down your content when you ask them to, just a lot of shit like that. And from there, I ended up actually becoming a Twitch partner. At the same time that I was stripping, I was like streaming on Twitch, and I kept my sex work life pretty private. Like I didn't tell people that I was doing it. I told them I was a bartender. I got partnered in 2015, and from there I got recruited to work at a company called Bebo, which later got acquired by Twitch. And that was really my first foray into like what like it looked like to work at a company and what like product work looked like. And it's kind of how I discovered my love of product work. And I ended up working at FetLife, which is like kinky Facebook. Um, it has like 10 million signups or something crazy like that last I was there, which was like in 2018. So big numbers there. And so I built a whole system there for them because they actually couldn't process credit card payments at the time. They like violated a lot of Visa and MasterCard's two-paragraph very vague rules. And so my job was to re-enable their credit card processing and figure out ways around like those rules that were not very specific, but were somehow like limiting us from getting paid. Um, and so I did that. And in the process, I ended up like we built private groups because you could hide content behind private groups because like the chances of the auditors like going into a private group or getting accepted were slim, but we couldn't hide profiles. So anybody's profile who mentioned that they were like a pro dom or a pro sex worker, like professional sex worker, they ended up getting removed from the site because of the system that I built, which like killed me inside as an ex sex worker. And you really never stop being a sex worker. I should clarify. I did go back and do OnlyFans later. Um, and so that really broke me in a lot of ways. And when I left that team, it was like both very sad because it was my dream job, but also like kind of a relief on the moral side from like my morals. They felt like they weren't being strained every day, which was really nice. And then from there, I ended up working at Near Protocol, which is a crypto like blockchain. It's like its own blockchain. And I wasn't gonna join. I thought that crypto was a scam. And I was like 2 weeks into like my contract and contract to hire, and I was like not going to say yes. And somebody mentioned how like blockchain enables censorship resistant payments through things like Spank Chain, which did exist at the time. And I was like, what does this mean? Lock me in. And they're like, yeah, it means that like sex workers can get paid. And I was like, holy shit, sign me up. Like this is no longer a scam. This is my life's work. And so from there, I worked there for over a year. I, built products like, you know, NFT marketplaces that were open source, and um, published my first NFT on like Paros, which has now been removed. It was like me doing pole fitness content with my booty and like astrology signs over it. And now if I go look it up, it's like censored and removed, which is really sad because it just shows that that's not a decentralized marketplace on Paros. And it shows that like, that just breaks my heart a little bit because it means that censorship is still alive and well on the blockchain as long as you're publishing on centralized places, which is a big problem in my mind. And from there, I ended up working in Solana at one of the biggest projects on Solana. I started working there almost a year ago, or over a year ago exactly. If you can figure out which project it is, please do not dox me. And I was there, had a product and a co-founder there. And then now I'm here and I'm still like working on that project on Solana while working on Proof of Peach, which is why I'm not doxed. And that is my story. I'm a product person, I'm a product nerd, I'm a sex worker at heart and a sex worker by trade in my past. And I'm here to make sure that sex workers are no longer like they have options other than OnlyFans and campsites that are taking advantage of them, and payment processors that don't want to work with them. Like my job, in my life's mission is to create this platform where sex workers have an option to get paid safely, securely, and also publish content that like they want to publish.
That is excellent. And you bring up a really important point. There is a lot of bullshit that comes along with working in the adult industry. It's stigmatized, you get taken advantage of a lot, you get ripped off, whether it's by platforms or by people doing chargebacks. You deal with a lot of assholes. But I guess, a lot of industries you deal with a lot of assholes. But yeah, there is a lot that comes along that people don't consider. I think like a lot of people don't. First of all, they think we all started OnlyFans back when COVID came around, but no, we've been doing OnlyFans longer than that, and they just think that we're like just a bunch of sluts that don't pay our taxes. But no, there's more to it, everyone. So
Also, we typically do pay our taxes.
we do. Like I've been, yeah. I got the first time I hired an accountant, it was to pay my camming taxes. So yeah, we pay your fucking taxes. Shit always gets on my nerves. So I also wanted to ask you guys. I see that today is National Eat a Peach Day. I did see that on your Twitter earlier, and I retweeted that. So what did you guys do to celebrate National Eat a Peach Day today?
Well, I'm going to jump in because I got to thoroughly enjoy some lovely stone fruits. I am very big on peaches, whether it is a white peach, a yellow peach, a donut peach. So I got fully involved with some peaches today.
Man, that sounds amazing.
I edited some content of somebody eating a peach. Yeah, if they want to reveal who it was, they can. But I edited it and I put it up. I sent it over and we got it published. It was good.
Was that for that tweet that I just mentioned?
Yes.
Nice. I liked it. It worked very well. I did like that a lot. Okay, so now that we've all introduced ourselves, tell everyone what exactly is Proof of Peach.
Yeah, so Proof of Peach is a platform where you can publish your peachy content, which means by that I mean like of your booty, or your other bits if you want to, whatever you want to publish really. And you can publish it on our platform. We have both free and exclusive content. So maybe it's better if I explain how to work. As a fan, you will be able to mint a membership token to each creator that you are a fan of. When you mint that membership token, you're going to get access to their feed, their Peach feed. And their Peach feed has both free and exclusive content. Exclusive content means paid content, in case you're unaware. So you'll be able to like see all the free content and then all the paid content will be blurred out and you'll be able to purchase it with USDC on the Solana blockchain. USDC, for those that don't know, is a stable coin cryptocurrency, which means that it's closely tied to the US dollar's value versus like a fluctuating volatile market, which means that when you're paying creators, you're paying them in something that is almost equivalent to the US dollar, very closely tied to it, and thus will not fluctuate or lose value or gain value based on the crypto market's volatilities. So that's how you'll pay for content. And then you also, like I said, get free content. Proof of Peach is like it's a solution. It's a solution to a lot of the pain that we've seen on a lot of platforms. So, discovery, for example, on OnlyFans is non-existent. Like, Catherine, I'm sure you can attest to this, but like, there's no way for you to be discovered on OnlyFans. People have to know your link. And so, we are actually building in discovery as part of our platform. We have tagging systems for both your profile. So your profile tags are like, how would somebody find your page, right? And then we have tagging for your content. So if somebody has your profile membership token, you can actually see all of the membership tokens content aggregated into one feed. That's your Peach feed. And on that feed, you can actually filter based on their content tags to find the specific content that you're looking for at that time. So that's how our discovery build works. So like there's actually a page called All Peaches where you can like search for all peaches based on a variety of different categories ranging from their hair color to their body type to their gender. Like I think there's over like 10 different categories of tags that we have. And you can filter on these categories to find somebody who fits what you're looking for.
Awesome. And we throw around the term adult content a lot. But what really does constitute adult content?
Yeah, so adult content in our minds is anything that somebody who's over 18 wants to publish that has a sexual connotation or nature. So that could be anything from you reading a crypto white paper in a sexy voice, that's adult content, to straight up like getting fucked in the ass and publishing it. Like that is also adult content. Adult content is a wild range of like anything published by an adult that is for adults to consume.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I think that's something that people usually don't realize is that not all porn is nude. A lot of the stuff that I've done, especially in the past like year or I guess couple years, oh, Jesus, like 3 years now, has been like clothed femdom. Like, there's so many things that are within porn, especially since it's become so like creator led. There's just so much stuff out there. It's not always fucking, it's not always nude. There's nothing wrong with those things at all, but like there's so much more leeway when it comes to what adult content is.
I
So something.
personally am super into like smut. So I read a lot of porn technically, and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I really like the idea of like ASMR as well, being this like super sensual, element of just like audible, something that just like is turning on so many people right now, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's actually something that we've been discussing too, is like what would it look like for us to be able to add a like an erotica section or like an erotica ability? Because right now it's not a type of content you can upload very easily, and it's also not like one of our like tags because we built our system more on content like that is visual and auditory. But it is something we do want to add is like a way for you to like upload a file or something like that for people to read like a PDF. I think that's something that like is definitely like on my mind because I personally also consume a lot of erotica. Um, so yeah, I think it's like how do we make that so you can support creators and do so?
Oh my gosh, you guys, honestly, I'm really glad to hear that because like I'm not doxxed by my face in crypto, right? And I haven't like commingled my two anon personalities together, like my camming one and my crypto one. But like I've wanted, obviously I have like a kind of sex-led platform in crypto. The Cat's Crypto Peepshow is all like based around like burlesque and all that stuff. But if you guys did like PDFs, I could upload like task lists for slaves. I could do audios. I wouldn't have to show my face. Like I was thinking before this, like I could get involved with this platform. Like, I don't have to do like I don't have to show my face, but I could do like the kind of porn stuff that I was doing that didn't involve. But just point being, yes, please. That would be
Got it.
wonderful.
Heard. Feature request noted.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about why this platform is so important because credit cards suck. Credit card companies, they cause a ridiculous amount of censorship. And censorship is important in some ways, okay? I'm not going to say that you should be able to have anything and everything on porn platforms, but the words that like they censor your words. You can't say certain things. You can't have certain types of content because if you use certain words, your content gets flagged. And it's just gotten so ridiculous over the years. So that's one reason why this type of payment processing on the blockchain is important. It's because the credit card companies are like they're like
Well, so
dictators.
the interesting thing is there's actually a very small section of US law that relates to obscene content online, right? And so, hang on, I'm gonna pull it up because I'm gonna quote it incorrectly if I don't. Okay, here we go. So basically, the Miller test is how the US government decides if something is obscene online. And so that's whether there's a three-prong test. And if they answer yes to all of these, then it's considered obscene. And just I'm gonna read these and you're gonna understand why this is so vague. So it's one, whether the average person applying contemporary community standards would find that the work taken as a whole appeals to the prurient interest. Whether the work describes or depicts in patently offensive way sexual conduct specifically defined by the applicable state law. And three, whether the work taken as a whole lacks serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. I think this is actually a direct quote in my lawyer message with them, and I said, "Well, that's super unhelpful. Thanks, U.S. government, LMFAO." So, like, yes, but that's what the US government said. So with those three prongs, we actually have a lot more leeway than what Visa has and MasterCard. Visa and MasterCard, for example, have like roughly two paragraphs where they're just like, yeah, if we think it's obscene, it's obscene. What the fuck does that mean? There's literally an entire company that exists that their entire job is to interpret what that means and then sell that data to companies who are like doing this kind of content. It's a whole nightmare. So like our legal team and us, we like refined our like content guidelines. There's a lot we can't allow due to U.S. obscenity law because of that three-prong Miller rule, right? This is just standard shit. We can't allow like anything involving bestiality or animals on the page. We can't allow anything involving blood. We can't allow anything involving fecal matter. Like that's pretty standard shit, right? We can, however, allow certain things that like you can't allow on like things like OnlyFans, like pee content or golden showers content has been completely eliminated from most porn sites. Um, Turns out the rule is not that you can't have golden showers. It's that you can't ingest pee or urine, right? So we're totally allowing like golden shower content as long as it's not being ingested. This is like very basic shit that is like very easy to do. And it's just like MasterCard and Visa are approached by religious lobbyists who believe that all porn is bad. And since those are the people padding their pockets and those are the people in power for them, those are the rules that they're following. And I personally believe that government should dictate what porn I should see if anybody is going to, not my payment processor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the government, but I'm less fan of a fucking credit card company telling me how to live my life. Because what the like, how should they like dictate anything that has to do with my job or how I make my living? It's ridiculous.
I don't believe that companies should be able to dictate what you consume on the internet.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, and okay, so I was super happy to find that you guys you had age verification taken care of, because some of these projects don't even, these porn blockchain projects don't even talk about it. Like they don't even have a solution for it. You guys have an on-chain solution for age verification. So can you explain to everyone a little about or how that works?
Yeah, so we actually are going a step further. So first of all, let's start with the basics. US 2257 code says that we have to have all of our performers' IDs in a public location, public office, where any government official could come knock and say, hey, let me see these records and prove that your creators are over 18. Let me see their IDs. Let me prove this, right? Great. We actually have an office space for this. We just rented it this week. I have a filing cabinet that's locked that I'm moving in there tomorrow for all of our creators' stuff. It will not have them printed out. It will have a computer inside of there that accesses all of these on-chain records, right? That being said, all creators have to go what's called age verification through Civic, which is Civic Key is an age verification on-chain solution that basically adds a soulbound token to your wallet that says yes, you're over 18 or no, you're not over 18, right? So when you upload your ID to Civic, it does like a face selfie scan and an ID scan, and it's like, are you over 18? Great. Cool, you get this age verification token. Are you not over 18? Great, cool, you don't get it. In fact, I believe our website actually redirects you to like a page that's like, when do I turn 18? Based on your birthday. If you say no, like if it says no, which is hilarious. So here's where it gets really cool though. We're doing this for creators. We're storing all our IDs. We have all this stuff for like 2257 law. However, a lot of these platforms do not care about the fans actually being of age. Not that it's legally required. Legally, the only requirement is that you have a checkbox that says I'm over 18. Legally. Personally, I believe as a creator who did create content and have underage people consume it and message me and harass me over it, that no minors should be able to access a independent creators like page or platform. And this is where it gets tricky. If you're on Pornhub, like I watched porn on Pornhub when I was a minor. Yes, absolutely. I think we all did. Like we can acknowledge that, right? It sucks. It's like not, it's kind of grody, but it's like the reality. But minors should not be able to sub your OnlyFans or be able to like reach these private pages where you're connecting with your audience or like reach your exclusive content. Because that's where things like chargebacks, like, oh, my kid had my credit card, or oh, this person went to my high school and now I'm 20 and they're 16 and they're like messaging me this creepy, horrible shit and threatening to reveal it to my family. Like, whatever it is, it's happened, right? We're actually doing age verification for fans too, because we believe in actually genuinely protecting our creators. And this is an aspect that every single porn site in the world that I'm aware of, I have never come across one that has asked me to upload my ID to prove I'm over 18 as a fan. And that's actually pretty bullshit. Like, creators are constantly harassed by minors. They're constantly followed by minors. There are minors who are trying to get into their adult spaces. And I don't think that's acceptable. And I don't think we should cultivate that as a community of sex workers. And so I don't think we're going to on Proof of PH. That's why we are requiring age verification. I have shown this flow to like adults who are like, oh my God, dude, this would piss me off if I had to go upload my ID when I'm like ready to jerk off. And I'm like, great. I'm sorry to hear it piss you off. Do you know what would piss you off more? If you were an adult creator who had a minor like buying your content. Like it's disgusting. It's really violating. It makes you feel like a pedophile when you're not one. You are not consenting in this scenario to give this minor content. And it's horrible. Like it's just a horrible feeling. So yeah, we're doing age verification not only for our creators, but for our fans as well.
I think that's huge. And you're right, it is disgusting and it's dangerous. I mean, I don't even want to imagine the implications of having, your porn content be in the hands of a minor. You know what I'm saying? So thank you. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. And also the 2257 thing is a huge deal because not all sites take care of this. Some sites require you to keep your own 2257 records, which when you're working in an industry where you are anonymous and you have to give a public address for these records, that means the records have to be at a separate place, like you rented a space for us. But if the site doesn't do that, you have to have a third party provider who is going to keep those records for you, which is what I have to use because I'm on like every fucking site imaginable, right? So also thank you for that. That's wonderful that you're taking care of that for the creators. And I wanted if you could elaborate a little bit on what a soul-bound token is, because that was actually a new term to me. So what exactly is a soul-bound token? And that would be referring to the civic key that is the age verification. What does soul-bound mean?
So it's like a soul-bound token. It's not actually a soul-bound token. I want to clarify. It's like a soul-bound token.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Soul-bound tokens are essentially tokens on Ethereum right now that are non-transferable, non-visible in your wallet. Nobody can see them except for a developer checking for it, and nobody can touch, transfer, or move them. So it's exactly the same concept. It's just not actually a soul-bound token on Solana. But the idea is there's an API that we pull that Civic says, is this person over 18? Yes or no, associated with that wallet. And that is not a transferable status.
Got it. Well, that answers that question for me. Thank you. So I'm curious, why did you guys choose Solana?
I built on Solana for the past year. I've had a fantastic time building on Solana. Yes, it gets a little rough sometimes, but it's always been worth it. The community is thriving. I think the biggest thing though is that the onboarding is easy. Onboarding new people to Solana is relatively easy compared to every other chain. You can purchase Solana directly in a Phantom wallet through MoonPay. You can get onboarded pretty quickly. Getting a wallet is relatively easy. Like it's just easy, and we're aiming for mass adoption. So we're gonna get slow grow, we know that, but like we anticipate there's gonna be a period in the next 3 to 6 months where we're gonna take off like a rocket ship. And when that happens, like we want to be on the chain that can support that. And since Solana is handling the most transactions per second of any blockchain right now, that's the biggest reason.
I don't want to cause any drama, but I also feel like it's a great community. I mean, not that the other ones aren't, but I do feel like they're super inviting. They're really open to new people coming in, which makes it easier for people to feel comfortable actually entering into the crypto world.
Yeah, facts. Like the community is welcoming.
Yeah, I mean, I actually agree with all those points. The community is very welcoming. It feels very tight knit somehow, even though it's large. And it is easy. It's easy to onboard to Solana as opposed to say Ethereum or even like Binance Smart Chain or any of those. So I agree with you there. And speaking of wallets, you guys are covering all transaction fees. Is that correct? And that actually helps with the process of creating a completely new wallet. If you don't want to have a wallet that's, your porn viewing wallet, if you don't want it having any, traces to your other ones, you don't have to have any Solana in it. You can view, your free porn because all the transactions will be covered for minting and whatnot. Is that correct?
That's totally correct. Yeah. So if you wanted to spin up a brand new wallet, whether you have one or not, you could do that. You could get your age verification token. You could view your free membership token. You could view all their free porn. Everything is doable on our site without any Solana in your wallet until you get to the point. Actually, no, I think even if you purchase content, if you load your wallet with USDC instead of Solana, you still don't need Solana for transactions fees for purchasing content. So there is no point in which you will need Solana on our site. We are built on Solana, we love Solana, we support Solana, but we wanted to make this easy to onboard and easy to access.
We do recommend having, at least USDC so that you can pay for some exclusive content though, because it's super juicy and you're going to want to have and be ready to be able to do that.
It's true. I mean, you could view all the free content you want, but you should be ready locked and loaded for that paid content as well, because there's going to be some good shit, obviously. Okay. Okay. So how will payouts work for the creators? Will there be like a minimum payout amount? Can you request anytime you want on OnlyFans? Will there be like a wait time? And how exactly will that work for creators?
They will get paid within a couple minutes of every transaction going through. There is no minimum requirement. There is no waiting period longer than a couple minutes, and that minutes is like literally to allow Mountain Pay, which is what we're using for our payments, to split the appropriate payments into the appropriate wallets. Which leads me to my next point. Not only is there no minimum, no delay, you can actually split payments with your manager or co-creators on chain instantly. So if you upload content, and Catherine, let's say you made something with like Vicky J, and y'all were both collaborating on this, you could both like publish the same content and then add each other as co-collaborator wallets. And every time somebody purchased that on Vicky J's profile, you would get a split. And every time somebody purchased it on your profile, Catherine, you would get like Vicky J would get a split.
Wow, that is hip. I don't think I've ever heard anything like this before. So, like with such ease. That's great. I love that. I noticed also that there's a creator referral program, correct? And I assume this is for is this for models specifically to bring other models onto the platform? How does that work?
So I'm chewing chips. Hang on one second. April, do you want to dive in there if you can?
Yes. So the way that it works is that, I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
I got it. I finished swallowing. We're good.
See, that's all we needed then. I was still thinking about the content of you and Vicky J together and how I'm going to buy that.
So we do have a referral system on chain, or not on chain, but a referral system on our program that we are looking to make on chain in the future, where every time you refer a creator, the first time they sell their first piece of content, you reduce the percentage that we take from your fees. So we start at 10% for all creators. So we take a 10% cut of everything you make. OnlyFans takes 20% for reference for those that are kind of like new here and think that sounds high. Like that's actually like 50% cheaper than everything else. That being said, we take 10%, and if you refer somebody and they make their first sale, so they become an eligible referral, you then get to reduce your percentage by 0.1, I think it is, all the way down to 8%. So you can refer 100 creator or 20 creators to get to 8%, is I believe what the number we decided on was.
Gotcha. Okay, awesome. We've been here for over 30 minutes somehow already. I didn't ask you guys how you are on time. Do you guys have a certain amount of time you can be here, or should we just keep it rolling?
I have this entire hour from when this started allocated, but we can keep it rolling. It sounds good.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I have a lot of questions, so let's keep it going. All right. So one of my favorite features about like OnlyFans, I1 Clips, Avian Stars, etc., is the messaging, the paid messaging. And I know this has been touched on in the past, but I wanted to see if there's been an update. Will you guys have some type of paid messaging feature inside of the platform?
The answer is yes in the future. Sorry, chewing again. We did get like we have an on-chain messaging encryption service that we're working with. It's actually two companies that work together to make this happen for us, which like warms my heart and my soul. But we're basically going to do on-chain messaging that is like encrypted. So we can't view it. Only the people with the keys, like only people who can view it, only people who are like it's sent to, and only people it's like sent from can view it. Now that does lead to the question though, like what if somebody's sending you like hateful messages? How do we like censor that, right? Because it's encrypted messaging on chain. We're gonna build in with this the ability for you to not receive messages from certain people. So you'll like be able to block them from messaging you if they're sending you horrible shit without blocking them from paying you because it's very important that you get paid. And then on top of that, all of these messages are paid. So you'll only be able to unlock the ability to message after you purchase a certain amount of content. We're working on what that looks like. It's like each creator would have to decide what that is for them. So like maybe Vicky J says, after you purchase like $100 of content, you can message me. But maybe you, Catherine, say after you purchase like $50 worth of content, you can message me. Whatever it is, right? We'll like build that in, and then the messaging will be unlocked for people who have purchased that amount of content, and they'll be able to message you. That's kind of the idea. This may change. This is like heavy alpha. This is like heavily under like still scoping work and like development and like product work, but like we finally have just gotten affirmation that messaging that is encrypted will be available to us in about 2 weeks. And so from there, we'll be able to play with it and implement it. And it's my hope that we'll have it implemented by October.
Awesome. Heavy, juicy alpha. I love it. And I really appreciate the amount of thought that you guys put into this. Like you leave no detail like untouched, and that's wonderful. And I apologize. We have Jocelyn and Vicky J in here now. I didn't even say hello to you guys. I just invited you on. Like you're like, I was gonna ignore you, but no, thank you guys for joining. I'm glad that you're here. Jocelyn is a brand ambassador, and Vicky J is I know that she's a content creator on the platform. I'm not sure if you're part of the official team, but I'm glad that you guys have joined us as well. All right, so how has the outreach to models been? Has it been well received? Have people seemed reluctant about it? As far as creators, how is that going so far?
I'm going to speak to numbers and then I'm going to let Abe and Jocelyn talk on this and actually Vicky because she's also been doing some outreach. Numbers wise, we have roughly 30 creators that have signed up to be a creator on Proof of Peach since we've like been marketing this for like less than 2 months. So that feels pretty baller to me. I'm excited about that. We have some really big names. We have some really like people who are brand new. We have people all across the spectrum, and we have a bunch of genders that are like not announced yet, but that are definitely like applying. It's very exciting. Full clarity. We approve everybody. So if you do apply and you haven't heard from us yet, it's because we're reworking our flow for like getting you guys verified. We don't deny anybody who's not over 18. So this is a true creators platform. It's for all creators, new creators, old creators, creators of all sizes, genders, ages, whatever, except for under 18. I should clarify again. If you're under 18, do not create and approve a peach. But yeah, that's exciting. And then I'm gonna let Ape and Jocelyn speak about and Vicky about what it's like actually messaging creators and like what the reception has been like.
I'm gonna let Joss take it because she has been really at the forefront of those 30 names.
Hey guys. So, I mean, I feel like I've gotten mixed things. Like, I mean, I feel like people either love crypto or they hate it. So, and I definitely have like had some girls like interested in starting with crypto, like wondering about it. So, I mean, I've had about like maybe every reaction for the situation. Crypto is still kind of new, so people and there's like a lot of like conspiracy theories like, oh, it's bad for the environment, or like, oh, it's a scam, or like, like, oh, it's a Ponzi scheme, like, but like there's also like people who are genuinely curious. Like I've had like a mixture of emotions and things for it.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, even with my like crypto friendly adult industry friends, there some of them are like everything that's not Bitcoin is like a scam, right? Like all shit coins are a scam. Like anything that's an alt. So I'm like, I don't even know about like what I can tell them about, because I feel like they're just gonna think everything is a scam. So yeah, I can totally see like some people being on board and just the whole gambit out there like of crypto opinions. So, but 30 is good. That's great.
It does seem like there's. Sorry, go ahead, Nash.
No,
Crash.
oh no, I was just saying it was a good start.
Sorry,
I was gonna say shit. I was gonna say Vicky J has also recently started messaging people and may have some context as well.
Hi guys, yeah, actually, I honestly started with girls I'm familiar with and like friends I know, but I think a huge selling point for models is telling them that they're going to be paid in U.S. dollar coin and almost instantly. I mean, that's a huge selling point for models. They want to know they're going to get that money. They want to know they're going to be paid in a stable coin, which is obviously equivalent to a dollar. So, I mean, I think that's been really good.
Yeah, that is an amazing selling point for sure. So what would you guys say has been the biggest challenge during the creation of this project?
So the biggest challenge I think has just been like marketing has been a challenge. We get censored a lot. We get shadow banned a lot. Like the word of Proof of Peach is getting out is like really hard to get out. I would say also like from my perspective, like I had this dream of like building something that was more fluid and like more types of content could be uploaded is what I mean by more fluid. And like learning that like the US law limited way more than I realized like made me a little sad. Won't lie. I wanted this to be like a real solution for like real sex workers to build like real platforms on things that they actually like to make. And learning that a lot of that content is actually just like not banned, but like opens me up to an obscenity lawsuit from the US government, which to be fair, they haven't done one in like 20 years, but like I don't want to risk it, you know? Doesn't seem worth it for the biscuit. And so just like learning how many legal like hurdles there were and then like overcoming them in various ways. It's been like climbing a mountain and I feel like I'm getting close to the top. Like I can see the peak. I can see where I'm headed. I can see like it's like if you were driving towards a mountain and you knew you were going to climb it and it's kind of hazy in the distance, that's where I was like 4 months ago. And now I'm like probably three-quarters of the way to climbing it, it feels like. Like I can see the goal. It's very clear. It's in crystal like HD definition. And I'm just like really aware of what I'm building and what I'm moving towards.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, about the Twitter. My porn Twitter has been shadow banned since before people even know what the fuck a shadow ban is. I think I have no hope on mine. But is yours still shadow banned? And did you have like a game plan to rectify that, or what's going on with the Proof of Peach Twitter account right now?
I think we're just gonna own the fact that we're gonna be shadow banned and like OnlyFans like is not shadow banned because they like don't post their sex worker content. We don't believe in that shit. We don't believe in
Right.
building our
Yeah.
back from the success of people who like are lifting us up and helping us be a successful business and then not representing them. So we're just gonna be a sex worker in the sense that we're gonna be shadow banned on Twitter and that's okay.
Hey man, sometimes you just gotta fucking be shadow banned. And everyone listening to this right now know that your likes, your shares, I mean, no one can see Proof of Peach on Twitter essentially. So you can support them hugely by sharing their content, by, liking and commenting and all of that. So please do that for them because, they're keeping it real. They're keeping it shadow banned and I don't blame them. All right, so what we got next here? Oh, Twitter. Okay, so have you guys been in contact with the Solana Foundation throughout this process? And I'm curious, has the project been well received and welcomed by them? If so,
We haven't been in contact with them throughout it. We contacted somebody at their foundation towards the end, who I don't know how much of this I can say, so I'm not gonna say it, but let's just say their hearts and their minds and their tech are heading in the same direction, which I found interesting. Um, and they seem pretty bullish on it. I do have connections at Metaplex, which is like closely tied to the Solana Foundation, but separate. And they've been incredibly supportive the entire path, like to the point of like giving me feedback on product designs in the early days, like giving me product decision feedbacks. Like this person has been a personal mentor and is also like very high up at Metaplex and has like provided more resources than I could ever ask for and has been incredibly supportive of what we're doing here.
very nice. What about like I don't know if you guys have been reaching out to VC funding. I know that the revenue, or I'm under the impression that the revenue of the project comes from the content sales. There's not. It's a free mint. It's a free unlimited mint. There's no royalties going to you that I know of. So is the business 100% reliant on that, or are you reaching out to VCs? And if you are, I'd like to know how easy that process is, because I know VCs can be a motherfucker when it comes to porn projects.
Yeah, we are planning to do VC funding, or at least attempt to. We're not going to start trying to raise until we have a working product. Like, I think a lot of people make that mistake where they like go pre-product and try to like raise and they may give up more than they realize because they're pre-product. And I think if we have a working product and working numbers, like we'll have a better term sheet with our investors, for us and for them. I know that we're probably going to be doing profit sharing as our like model for like our employees and our investors versus like equity. Because the chances of us going public or getting acquired are pretty slim because of the fact that we're an adult content platform. We can recognize that and we think that profit sharing is the right model for that probably. Again, not a firm decision, something we're leaning more towards than like deciding in this moment. And then last but not least, like, yeah, we do take like I said, a 10% of all profit, like of all sales on Proof of Peach, and that is like that's our way that we like are able to pay our employees and pay like for servers and pay like all of these transaction fees that we're covering. Like these are all the this is like what this is for, right? I should be clear that myself as a founder, I have put over 50,000 US dollars into funding this project on my own at this point. It is self-funded. Um, I do not plan to take a salary or like earn any money from any of the profit that comes from creators until we have raised a round. So like any profits that like come into the company will go directly into making sure that the company is like sustainable and still growing and that our employees are paid before I am paid. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me, and I appreciate the transparency there. Thank you. Switching gears a little bit, I understand that you have some very talented developers, your front end and your back end. You want to tell us a little bit about your team in that respect?
Yeah, so we have our CTO who's incredibly talented. I think he learned Rust in like 1 week. Like the dude's insane. Just like I remember hitting him up like about a year ago and being like, "Yo, I'm looking for somebody to build on Solana with me," and he was like, "Yeah, give me a couple days. I'll learn Rust." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "I know Solidity." I was like, "What?" Okay, all right. And then he did. He learned Rust, and it was fucking fabulous, and I was really impressed with him. And I've been impressed with him. I worked with him on multiple projects over the past year. We have a front-end dev who is a little more junior, but also incredibly talented. Like very pixel perfect as a developer, like which is what you want in a front-end developer, to be honest. And then we have a full stack dev who's fantastic. I worked with them on a project last year and brought them into this one as soon as I possibly could. So just like really proud of my development team. Adding onto the team, we do have like a couple people in marketing. We have Jocelyn, for example. We have Ape, who was up here previously. I don't know where they went, but it's okay. We have Poetry Dude, who is our marketing intern. We have Ding, who is our new copywriter. So like writing all of our copy, writing all our articles, writing everything there. And then we actually have a product designer as well, who has designed everything you see on like our website today and everything you'll see when you get in there on September 1st. And it's just been an incredible joy to work with them. And I'm trying to think if there's anybody I'm forgetting. I don't think so, but I'm gonna go open the Discord because like the team grew so quickly, y'all. Like that, I don't know. I can't. Oh, we also have Olive, who is Olive is like our PM slash executive assistant. She like does both. She's like a badass. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. I counted all the names in Discord and I was like, that's it. So it's like really hard for me to keep mental track of everybody working on it because everybody's working on it either part-time or like we have very few full-time employees. And also we like literally grew this team in like the span of like 2 weeks from like 4 people to like 10, which I just had to count that. So there we go.
I love it. Yeah, because y'all guys, I've known about this since July. Because you had plans to launch beginning of August, and you pushed it back. And yeah, the team was much smaller at the time. So yeah, it has grown a lot.
Yeah, the whole team is winning over here.
Hell yeah.
Pretty big. It's pretty crazy. We got this. It's on lock.
All right. So I was curious. Will any aspects of the project be open sourced?
That is a very good question. It's something we've discussed, me and my co-founder, like briefly. I don't think we've discussed it nearly enough. It's something that I ethically believe in open source software. That being said, I also know that I don't want somebody to like fork proof a peach and like build a competitor directly to us, right? So like I think there is certain types of open sourcing, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, that you can release where you're just like, yeah, you can use this as long as you're not like directly competing with us. Like if you're like creating like a cooking proof of peach, like that would be fine, but like I don't think creating an adult content proof of peach would be fine. I don't know. The answer is I don't know, and I need to look into it and I need to determine what the sources are and what our resources are.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, it sounds like we're on the same wavelength. Like at the Peepshow, we feel the same way that more things should be open source, but then there's a balance, right? Like you don't want everyone just using your shit. Yeah. So yeah, that's very cool. You guys, will you be launching on a launch pad, and why did you choose to do a free unlimited mint?
No launchpad. We are self-minted, self-hosted. We're doing a free unlimited mint because if Jocelyn wanted to release her mint, right? And she said that there was only like 100 or 200 versions of her NFT. The secondary market would be where people get access to her content. And that's actually like not a sustainable business model for both the business, for her, and for the fans. Like she has more than 200 fans, right? She, in fact, should have an unlimited number of fans because Jocelyn may be continuing to create content for years to come or however long she wants to. And Jocelyn should be able to have all of those fans get access to her content. In our mind, the idea of having an unlimited mint means that we have an unlimited cap on how many people have access to the content and thus an unlimited cap on how many people could potentially purchase the exclusive content. So if we say 5 to 10% of your free mint holders are going to buy your exclusive content and you can grow that pool infinitely, that means that 5 to 10% could theoretically increase infinitely. And that seemed like a much more sustainable business model to us than, you know, capping your NFT supply based on your current audience.
That makes total sense. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you meant a free NFT per creator, and then, and I don't know if we touched this on yet, and then that creator's paid content then gets tied. If you purchase it, it gets tied to that asset, that free NFT
That
that
is
you mentioned
correct.
for that. That is
Yeah.
correct. And
If
I
you were to
thought,
transfer that, like if you were to transfer that to a different wallet or give it to a friend, they would have to verify their age and then they would actually get all the content that you purchase.
okay, cool. They'd have to so you can't transfer to someone without them age verifying. So that's huge. And then if you were to sell it, you could sell these, right? I mean, you'd be able to sell them. Then
Yeah.
the royalties go to the creator.
So the royalties will be split with the creator and us. We'll again take a
Oh,
10% of the
oh,
royalty.
right. Okay.
And
Gotcha.
then the creator would get the rest of it, I think is what we're deciding.
Okay.
Again, don't quote me on that. I think we actually have to hammer out that final detail, but I'm pretty positive it's like majority goes to creator, small percent goes to us. Typical for our
Very cool.
resident. That being said, like if somebody were to sell this, like I would almost never see a scenario in which somebody could sell this for a profit. And that's really weird for NFTs, right? But the idea is if you can at any time get a free token and at any time unlock all of the content for the exact same cost as somebody else, why would you ever pay for somebody else's token that has the exact same shit for more or equal value? You wouldn't. You would be like, hey, I've got all of this content for Vicky J here, and you can see that I've purchased like 90% of her content, and out of that content, like I'm willing to give you a discount so that you can get my grab bag of porn, basically. But there's no instance in which this NFT is like worth more than what you've put into it, which I think is very interesting because a lot of NFT projects promise to be like investments or promise to be like, you know, things that you can trade for profits or flip and whatever. And we actually are believing in more of a hold this for access and buy continued access like points underneath this. This is your token. This is your membership pass. This is like the key that unlocks the gates to the porn castle. Don't sell this because this is yours. Like this is your unique key.
Gotcha. Right. And I thought too, like on the other side of that coin, like it's not a traditional NFT investment like we're used to, right? But me, I mean, I've been in fucking porn since 2010. I'm not charging the same that I was back then, Like I've raised my prices more than once. So if you're holding this asset for a long time that has all this content on it, maybe the creator is charging more one day. Maybe, she does something crazy and she becomes a findom and everything is like outrageously expensive. Like you could possibly profit on it in the future, like it could be like a collector's thing, like where later down the road it does actually become, the value does actually appreciate. So
it can absolutely be that. There's also the aspect of like you touched on something that was really interesting. So you said what if they become a femdom and it becomes really expensive, right? Here's where it's really unique. OnlyFans only allows you to charge $100 per piece of content at max. We have no cap. Please charge as much as you think your fans will pay.
What was that last thing you said?
Charge whatever you think your fans will pay. Like seriously, like if you think somebody will purchase a piece of content for $1,000, fucking charge them.
Hell yeah. No, that's a good point. I think the only place I remember charging like up to $1,000 has been I Want Clips, and I would much rather choose Proof of Peach over I Want Clips. So okay. All right. What else we got to talk about here? Oh, I was curious about the community side. Is Proof of Peach going to have like a traditional NFT community? Like, is there going to be a Discord? Are you going to mingle customers and creators, or how do you see the community side of Proof of Peach panning out?
A Discord for now is still a no. We don't have one for a reason. We don't think it's like, I don't know, dude. I don't want to join a Discord and be like, yo, dude, what's up? I'm about to jerk off. What are you about to do? Like, I'm just not into that idea. That being said, something that's really cool about our tokens, why people ask me like, why an NFT? Why not just make this so that people can just like, purchase content associated with their wallet? And here's the answer. With a token list, with a hash list, if a creator was inclined, and in the future we do plan to offer tools for this, but if a creator was inclined to check every person who had their token and see how many of them have bought every piece of exclusive content, because that's visible on chain in their metadata, they then could token gate their own Discord and allow all of their top purchasers into that Discord if they wanted to. This is putting the power of communities back into creators' hands and not making you stay hostage to one creator platform, but instead empowering you to do multiple things with your community based on the hash list of who's most engaged. This is very powerful. This is something you're actively like thinking about and providing and solving by having it be an NFT list that you can then associate. Okay, if I want to do people who purchase 50% of my content and I want to give them like an airdrop to this like NFT project that I'm like a big fan of, you could do that. If you wanted to give a discount in the future to everybody who holds your favorite NFT project on your content, like let's say you're a big fan of DGods and anybody who owns a DGod in their wallet and also has your membership token could then purchase your content at a discount, that is something you could provide. This is all like the ability for you to take your community and empower them how you wish to.
I love it. I love it. Well, before we wrap this up, and possibly if we have a few minutes to take some questions from the audience, I wanted to lighten the mood a little bit, and I want to ask you, Peach, or I'll ask anyone who's been in the adult industry up here. We got Vicky, we got Jocelyn. If all of you guys would like to share, what is the funniest thing you've ever seen or experienced while in the adult industry? And now, before I let you guys answer, I'll tell you what mine is. It was 2019 and it was 4th of July and I had a task list for slaves, right? And one of my slaves, I got him to take one of those, those red, white, and blue bomb pops. I had him stick it up his ass for me. And the squeal that came out of his mouth was the most amazingly funny thing I've ever heard. So that is my story. So you guys take it away.
I used to do a routine when I was a stripper that I started on Halloween and then became like a regular thing where I would come out to the Imperial March dubstep, so like a dubstep remix of the Imperial March. I would be wearing thigh-high black boots, a black cape of velvet, nothing else, no clothes, and a black Darth Vader mask, and I would blindly, because I knew my routine by muscle memory, go through my entire routine of like climbing the pole, hanging from the 2x4 that the pole was attached to, swinging around the pole, twerking on stage, in a Darth Vader mask, a cape, and thigh-high black boots. And it was the absolute best, and it was so fucking funny to create this like as a Halloween joke. And then it became such a hit that like I remember like a year later being at somewhere and it's like, oh yeah, like I used to do a Darth Vader routine at this like strip club and then being like, you were the Darth Vader? You're a legend in my group. We would all try to come and see which night you would do the Darth Vader routine and we could never figure out who you were because you wore this like Darth Vader mask the whole time and it was like goals achieved. Like it was just pretty fucking funny.
Amazing. Anyone else want to share?
I'll go. So I'm primarily a live cam model. And often we go cam to cam with a lot of guys. And I had one guy that wanted to show me something. And I'm like, all right, baby, show me. What are you going to show me? And he made on black construction paper the most intricate picture of a rocket ship using cum. And it was amazing. I've never been so impressed in my life.
I fucking love that. Jocelyn, did you have anything you wanted to share?
I have so many. Well, I mean, I have an interesting one. One time I was shooting for kink.com and in the scene I had to hold a cannonball that had a rope tied onto it and it was tied onto someone's neck and I had to hold it squatting and I had to hold it for like 30 minutes straight as like my punishment, and if I dropped it, it would like rip her neck off. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. It was intense. It was scary, and yeah. Also, one time they made me walk around with like knives and forks on plates, and then tase me and like cattle prod me, and I wasn't allowed to drop anything off the plates, like the platters that I was holding. It's really entertaining, honestly. Like I had a lot of fun being cattle prodded and stuff like that.
I love that. Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, all the kinky shit. Yeah, that's great. That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Both of those. All right. Well, Peach, do you want to leave a few minutes for some possible audience questions, or what do you think?
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's do it. We got, I know Jose had requested. Let me get you up here if you want to ask. Anyone else who has any questions? We don't have a huge audience here, but if you guys do want to ask, just request and we'll get through all you guys, I'm sure.
I just want to say something, but I can't say. Can you hear me?
What was that?
You can hear me? Because I don't know. My mic is not working. I don't know if you can hear me.
No, it's working. We can hear you, Jose.
Okay. I just want to know what is thing you've done before, like candles. You know, candles melting in your butt. Never happened before.
Are you?
Me, I got a worse pain one time. My girlfriend licked my ass while I was fucking her. I was like, it was the first time she checked me. Wow, she would give me a blowjob and then she started licking my ass. I was like, what the fuck is that about? You know, I was in shock. You know, when she did to me. You know, she give me after she don't do the blowjob. She not even able to do lick my ass. But she went down there. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I don't want to do that after my girlfriend like that. And that was the first time I freak out. You know.